necessarily Christmas, although some of these might be Christmassy. I'm not sure. I've not seen them all. I have had this. I got this at like Goodwill a decade ago, and I've been rocking it every December for a decade. Okay, shamelessly, like to work, to dinner, to whatever. It's so like I don't know. I'm never getting rid of this. I will wear it until it falls apart. I'm not buying any other like ugly Christmas sweaters. This is it. This is it. You invite me ugly Christmas sweater every year, I'm gonna be showing up in the same sweatshirt. Okay. Don't have any perfume on. My lipstick of the day is Brink Matte by ColourPop, and it's actually like a lip foundation, so you can. I've got like a baby doll lip, which means you just kind of go over on the top just a little. Anyways. Okay, so we'll start with this article. It is Den of Geek 16 Best Winter Horror Movies. By Daniel Kirkland, David Crow, Don Kay, and Tony Sokol from January 12th, 2019. 30 Days of Night, 2007. They have lived in the shadows long enough. They are the last of their kind, but above the Arctic Circle there is a party going on, and the main attraction is vampires on ice in this snowbound gore fest. I don't think I've seen that. It's going on the list. It's 2007. How have I not seen that? That's weird to me, because I love vampire movies. Anyways, Abominable Snowman 1957, known in the U.S. as the Abominable Snowman of the Himalayas. How come in my head, this is kind of embarrassing, for a million years, in my head the Himalayas were like tropic. I know, I'm dumb. I'm a dumb American. I'm really not dumb, but we just don't really study geography here, and I didn't ever take it upon myself to. And in my head, the word Himalayan sounded tropical, so until I figured out, no. And then when I did, I was like, oh my god, this is embarrassing. So, Bram Stoker's Dracula, that's wintry, 1992. Tour de force in old school film production. It doesn't really. Chiller memorably concludes in the dead of winter. Okay, so it concludes in the dead of winter when snow is piling high. Alright. I guess I should watch that and learn a little more about it. The Children, 2008. The idea of our very children turning against us is hardly a new one. It's manifested in everything from Village of the Damned, Who Can Kill a Child, The Good Son, but it was brought home in an especially nasty fashion with this 2008 horror thriller directed by Tom Sharkland. Two sisters and their families get together at the eldest sister's secluded country home for Christmas, only for the children to be turning against their parents in a homicidal fashion, forcing the adults to fight for their lives even as they grapple with the killing idea, with killing their own offspring watch it. If you watch one from this list, watch Frozen from 2010. Invisible Man, 1933. That's old. I'm not gonna watch that. It's too old. The Last Winter, 2006. As the last and most expansive of 4 highly personal horror films written and directed by Maverick Film, blah blah blah. Last Winter features Fessenden's most overtly topical story, as well as his first Hollywood name cast, tasked with getting the operation. Okay, so this is getting black gold out of the ground, tasked with keeping the operation in line environmentally. A series of strange occurrences, however, begin to chip away at the minds and lives of the crew, and soon lead to a realization that nature itself may be seeking vengeance on humanity. I've never heard of that. Let the Right One In, 2008, and Let Me In, 2010. Let Me In, Possible, and okay, this is 1980s childhoods with longing and dread, and in a vision that far more intensely fears the threat of toxically violent bullies than it does its vampire anti-heroine. So the bullies are worse than the vampire. I've not seen these, and I hear about them a lot too. I think they were books, maybe. But okay, I have seen the Chloe Grace Moretz as the vampire child. Abby, I've seen that one. That one's good. I've seen Let Me In, 2010, but I have not seen Let the Right One In, 2008. Misery, 1990. If you have not seen it, So I saw it in probably, I guess, 2015 on my birthday. It does not count as a horror movie. Oh, people would say that it does not count as a horror movie, and those people are wrong. For here is a definitive film about the kind of brutal cold that digs deep into your bones that you'll forget what warmth ever felt like. Yeah, there's a scene in there that is absolutely brutal with Leonardo DiCaprio and a bear. I think it's a bear. It's an animal that he has to use to stay warm. Leonardo DiCaprio wastes away into frailty for this Oscar-winning role, which requires swimming in actual frozen rivers, climbing naked into the carcass of a dead horse. It wasn't a bear, it was a horse. And finding joy in the simplest whispers of a flame. It's a film so obsessed with the horrors of wind chill that it moved its production to South America to maintain an authentic wintertime production during what is considered summer months in Northern Hemisphere. I didn't know that. Alright. The Shining. You all know what The Shining is. 1980. The weather outside is frightful, but Overlook Hotel is so delightful. I have seen this hotel in real life. I didn't drive up to it, but I passed it. The inspiration for the hotel, I should say. On my way to Estes Park in Colorado, we drove by the inspiration for the Shining Hotel, and it does give you an eerie feeling. Wind chill 2007. There's something particularly unpleasant about sitting in a cold car in the middle of winter, especially if the vehicle won't start or gets stuck in the snow. Wind chill takes this idea to claustrophobic, thoroughly unnerving extreme by stranding two college students, Emily Blunt and Ashton Holmes, on a deserted road at night, with Holmes' ramshackle car lodged in a snowdrift. And if things aren't creepy enough, Blunt soon realizes that Holmes may not be on the level they face the prospect of freezing, even as strange things begin to occur on the road outside the car. So, I need to watch this, and I have a story. It was horrible. I was hungover, and I needed to go home because the snowstorm was coming. So, I was at my boyfriend at the time's house, and I, got all my stuff and got in the car, and my kids had just been, they were older, but they had just been dropped off, so I'm like, okay, I'll meet you guys there. And, or like they were on their way, they got there safely, but I didn't. I was on my way there, and I was going by a big cornfield, and a big draft came, and my car got kind of stuck, so I was like, well, shit, and then I couldn't move, and there, this snow was coming really fast at my car and building a bank, and I ended up having to have my boyfriend come get me, and I had to leave my car there, and we couldn't get out, so my poor kids were stuck. They were older. I mean, they couldn't go in and lock the door, but they were stuck for several hours, and until the roads were plowed, and they weren't sending plows out. It was one of those dangerous, treacherous, so when I finally did get home, I could barely get into my street, and there was snow piled against the door. It was a bad snowstorm. There was literally, you felt so hopeless because there was nothing you could do besides buckle down, and luckily the phones were working and everything. But okay, I had one more way down here, so give me a minute to find it. And there was a lot of foreign ones too. So there's The Lodge, which I still need to watch. There's Break. I don't know if you've ever heard of Break. And there's one called February with Emma Roberts and Kiernan Shipka that I want to watch. I have no idea what it's about, but I love Emma Roberts. I feel like she is underrated. I love Emma Roberts. Okay, it's called 20 Snowbound Horror Movies, and this is by the Spooky Vegan. I'll just see if there's any. No, these are almost all gonna be repeats, but Ravenous, The Shining, Misery, Ghost Story. It doesn't have a year, but it says 4 old friends get together every year to tell ghost stories, but one after one their son dies mysteriously, and mysterious woman from their past resurfaces. They snow, 2 red first dead. A group of friends travels up to a remote cabin in the mountains in Norway and unwillingly resurrect an army of undead who are after their lost treasure. So it's a zombie. Ginger Snaps back at the beginning. I adore Ginger Snaps series, and this third film is no exception. Set in the early 19th century Canada, orphan sisters Ginger and Bridget find themselves lost in a forest, but are rescued and taken to a fort. Those strange events are occurring at the fort. A few settlers who are left remain tight-lipped about the situation. Soon, Ginger discovers their secret for herself, and the winter setting adds beauty and mystery to this werewolf film. It's the first werewolf film on this list, so check it out. Frozen is on here. Troll Hunter, a documentary crew investigates reports of illegal poaching, but discover that trolls are real, and they tag along with a man who hunts and slays trolls for the Norwegian government. 30 Days of Night is on here. Frostbitten, Swedish horror comedy, also deals with vampires in a winter locale that sees an extended period of nightfall. It's fun, entertaining vibe. It comes with a backstory about a doctor trying to perfect the human race with vampire blood. Devil's Pass, I've seen this, I think. A group of American college students travel to Russia to investigate the I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, pass incident where 9 hikers died under mysterious circumstances. The film is comprised of the film footage taken by the students, which was later recovered by Russian government and released to the public by hackers. Okay, I don't think I've seen that then. Let the Right One In, The Children, The Thing, John Carpenter's 1982 film. Cold Prey, a group of snowboarders in Norway take refuge in a creepy abandoned ski lodge after one of them suffers an injury. Unbeknownst to them, a killer also stalks the halls. This is a solid slasher flick that uses its isolating setting and threatening harsh weather to be the utmost advantage. The Last Winter, the environmental impact of oil drilling at an Arctic camp see